So, I'm Andres from Cyberbox, Puerto Rico. I'm here with Brian
Muir.
Muir. Okay, so I wasn't pronouncing that wrong, so I'm happy about that. I just really wanted to ask you, what inspired you to be in the industry? What first made you think, I have to be a sculptor, this is my passion?
Well, I was lucky enough to be the only apprentice sculptor ever in the film industry. There's never been one since. So I left school at the age of 16 and went straight into the film industry.
Wow.
And it was more from the fact that I was very lucky to be in the right place at the right time. And there were 12 people that went for an interview before me who got turned down. So it was lucky 13 for me.
You mentioned that you just said you were an apprentice. Who was your mentor then? Or what was the company?
He was an old guy called Arthur Healy. But at that time, whereas the studios now are all what they call four-wall, a film will go in, they'll rent the space, they'll get all their own staff in. At that time, you were employed by the studio, and any film that came in there had to have you. That all changed in 1974 when Elstree Film Studios went four-wall, so that Star Wars got their own people on to work on the film, and they rented the space.
Okay, so you just said that when people go in and they bring their own stuff. Now, how did that affect your part of the industry? Because I imagine that did not bode well with anyone from your part of the industry.
Well, it was fine. It just meant you were freelance. It meant that you wasn't, whereas I was consistently at the same studio for the years I was there. After that, you're freelance. You sign on a contract to go on each film, you finish, and then you wait for the next one. In my case, I was lucky. I worked regular.
Yeah, and I can imagine why. The works you just mentioned, the works you mentioned earlier were amazing. I didn't even know you were in Harry Potter, or.
Well, if you go on to my website, you can see a lot more films, a lot more work. I've worked on over 70, but there's probably 35 films on there with photographs and that.
Are these 35 that you've worked on but haven't been screen timed or?
No, that work that's been on screen. It's just that I didn't always take pictures on the films I worked on. So there's only 35 where I've got pictures of the work that I've done. Right. Should we just call it a day there?
Okay.
No, all right.
Awesome.
Okay,
thank you very much.
You.
Have a good night. Hope you have a good tomorrow and then a good trip home.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. So that was just Brian Muir. What he had told me before, though, was a lot more, and I wish we had started the interview earlier, but it didn't occur. So what he told us before is he worked for in 3 Harry Potter films, and he made this really ornate golden gate that they didn't use in the films. He also mentioned in one of the James Bond movies, he made a shark that Jaws fights against and bites, and another crocodile, and stuff like that. Stuff that I really wouldn't have known if not asked, because we just know him from Star Wars, and I'm honestly kind of sad that that's the most famous of his works, because the things he mentioned were amazing, and things that he did mention and I just forgot. He did 2 things for Indiana Jones, 2 snakes, a cobra and a python, and he made the python because it comes down to the actress's shoulder, and she was terrified of snakes, so she wouldn't have a real one, and he had to make one just for that, which was really impressive. Here's Andres signing off. So yeah, this is Starcon.